Thanks for joining 6 on Your Side. I'm Jessica Taylor. Dawn Nelson has the night off. We begin tonight with a developing story out of Elmore County. Climate change is threatening North America's bird population. Experts say changes are happening fast, and even birds themselves are sounding the alarm. Jessica. Good morning, Rachel. I wish I had better news for those eastbound commuters, but if you're heading that way, chances are you're going to experience a few slowdowns, especially near that Karcher Road area and this Meridian Road area. There's a new sound in town, and it's getting people out of their seats and onto the dance floor. Forward to it. Thanks, McKenna. 30 kids from across the nation got to visit Florida this weekend, all thanks to American Airlines and the Make-A-Wish Foundation. 80% of West Ada high schools, including Mountain View behind me, are overcrowded. We're celebrating a new year, a new decade, but the same potato drop we all know and love, the potatoes actually being lifted into the air. While the student doctors are interacting with patients over here, they're actually being recorded over here. Each interaction is observed by their professors. Can tell if drones in the sky are merely hobbyists like myself having fun, or if they pose a serious threat. One of the services this dental team offers the kids is placing sealants, which means they can keep their smiles nice and healthy without missing valuable class time. Kickoff might not be until 8:15, but take a look at the fans right now. They are having such a fun time. Thanks for joining 6 on Your Side. I'm Jessica Taylor. Dawn Nelson has the night off. We begin tonight with a developing story out of Elmore County. The Idaho Humane Society is asking for donations to help keep nearly 60 dogs fed and cared for after being seized from a single mountain home property. We spoke with the shelter to see how the animals are doing and what the next steps are. Late Thursday afternoon, the Idaho Humane Society was contacted by Mountain Home Police after executing a search warrant on a mountain home residence.
Large number of dogs were being kept in neglectful circumstances.
55 dogs and 3 cats were removed from the property.
The interior of this house was as deplorable as any I've seen in the past 19 years.
It's not Rosenthal's first time dealing with what he calls an animal hoarding situation by any means. He says a majority of the small space these animals were kept,
not much bigger than 600, 700 square feet,
was inaccessible due to the debris, garbage, and huge accumulation of possessions. The Humane Society is fairly full to begin with, but the new facility on Bird makes it possible for these animals to have a new, safe place to stay.
In these situations, we definitely rely on our supporters in the community and throughout Idaho.
The Humane Society can't say the condition of the dogs at this point, but they've got their work cut out for them.
Very, very unhealthy situation for the animals. In fact, the fire department, when they went in, were breathing oxygen from tanks.
Rosenthal says in similar cases he's been a part of, the next step is typically a hearing to assess if the animals will be forfeited. But the Humane Society's only job is monitoring the animals' health.
We'll be providing each and every dog a safe place while this case is adjudicated.
The owner was arrested for 58 counts of animal cruelty and cited for 48 counts of unsolicited dogs, among other citations. Much more of the day's news coming up in just a moment, but first we check in with Scott Dorval. Very chilly out in Caldwell when I went and checked out the ice slats.
Yeah.
Have you been out there?
I have. It's been beautiful. I went ice skating out there. Downtown Caldwell's really just gotten amazing with what they've done. And
absolutely beautiful.
It's great in the wintertime. We're starting to feel that winter cold now. We just need a little snow in the valley. A lot of folks looking for that snow. Let's take a look at the village at Meridian right now. Fountain show just completing here. It is 33 degrees. Just a little bit of a breeze giving us a wind chill factor down into the upper 20s. So yes, it feels a little cold outside, and it's going to stay that way. Of course, we would expect that in December, keeping these cold temperatures around, but it's even colder in the Magic Valley, only 25 degrees in Twin Falls. Temperatures tonight should drop into the 20s. Computer charts are saying low 20s. I don't think it will get that cold, but a northwest flow has been bringing some snow showers. Look at these snow showers pushing from the northwest to southeast, and that's going to continue. So a few more snow flurries are possible overnight tonight, but there really is not too much going on. It's just little snow showers here and there. The Central Mountains, we did have some snow at Brundage Mountain. I'll talk more about that coming up in my ski report, but temperatures over the next few hours dropping into the upper 20s for the most part. So still another cold night, but the difference tomorrow is we get a chance for getting a little sunshine during the afternoon. High temperature 34 degrees, and we could clear things out tomorrow night as well, but then more cloud cover could bring some more snow. I'll talk about the chance of snow in the valley coming up shortly.
All right, thanks, Scott. Even though Congress is on its holiday break, there's a lot happening behind closed doors as far as impeachment proceedings. The Senate is waiting for House Speaker Nancy Pelosi to send 2 articles of impeachment over to the Senate. Pelosi says the reason she's waiting is to ensure a fair trial in the Senate, with the hopes that Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell will call witnesses. 6 on Your Side anchor Don Nelson sat down with Idaho's junior Senator Jim Risch to discuss impeachment proceedings and his views on the waiting game.
Do you look forward to a vote on the Senate floor, and would you like to see witnesses called in the Senate?
Well,
I know that's a lot there, but
yeah, it is a lot to unpack. First of all, you said, was I surprised when I heard when Mitch McConnell said he was cooperating with the White House? You know, that's exactly what Chuck Schumer said back when they were doing the Clinton impeachment. So, you know, I mean, these...
It goes both ways. I get that.
Yeah.
I get that.
And there's no, on these kinds of things, it's not like a court proceeding where you have a lot of really detailed rules. Or it is like a trial, but it doesn't have the same sideboards on it that a case in a courtroom does.
To see much more with Senator Jim Risch, including the latest on China trade wars and Russian interference in our elections, tune in Sunday night at 10. Still ahead on 6 on Your Side, you may not think of healthy food options when you think of Chinden, but some local business owners are trying to change that. Coming up next in tonight's Made in Idaho. Nampa police say they're seeing more heroin now than ever before, and the drug traffickers they're targeting aren't just applying to Nampa, but the entire Treasure Valley. It doesn't stop with heroin. Fentanyl's mixed into the problem.
We're seeing a lot more heroin cases now than we used to.
Nampa Police Department's Special Investigation Unit has its hands full. 5 large quantity heroin arrests occurred between November of 2018 and April of 2019, all adding up to be one of the biggest heroin busts in Nampa history. 4 arrests from out-of-staters with local ties. The most recent bust came from Salt Lake City.
126 grams of heroin, 2,450 grams of methamphetamine, and 55 fentanyl pills disguised as oxy.
Following a heroin overdose last year, Nampa police created the special task force to watch out for heroin entering the state.
I don't think it's just Nampa alone. A lot of these people were supplying the Treasure Valley.
Luis Acevedo was arrested trafficking 509 grams of heroin from Portland, Oregon.
Just to give you an idea of how much 509 grams of heroin is, the average dose of heroin is 1/10 of a gram, so which is considered a point. So that's a very large amount of heroin and would affect a lot of people.
Detectives say it's a 6,000% increase in the amount of heroin seized between the months of January and April just in the past year. Police say, according to the state labs, most of the heroin coming in is laced with fentanyl.
It's cheaper, it's easier to mix in, and it doubles the amount of actual product that they have, and it is more potent.
Fentanyl is also entering disguised as counterfeit oxycodone pills.
They're not under any regulation, so there's no telling how much fentanyl is in there, and a very small amount can kill you.
Health providers warn consuming fentanyl increases the dangers of a drug overdose.
The medicine that we use to reverse the Narcan, it lasts about as long as regular heroin, but it doesn't last as long as the fentanyl.
Police say they don't believe the pills are being made locally, but they're targeting mid-level traffickers within the city to learn more. The kids were super excited about the deck, and so were their teachers, who say playing games is important for the entertainment component, but also the skills learned with the social interaction and turn-taking.
How am I going to know if it's blue? So there's a B for blue.
Games don't usually have Braille on them unless you put it on. So I think putting Braille on things like card games and Legos and stuff, that's a really good thing to do.
Some of these middle schoolers are already big Uno fans.
Now I'm playing a red reverse. Nope. No. Remember?
But this is the first time they're playing with an official Braille deck.
I thought it was pretty cool. Going through a childhood or an adulthood without playing Uno is just, it's not possible. You can't do it. You have to have Uno in your life.
For others, today was the introduction to the game. Durant, have you ever played Uno before today?
This was my first time.
Draw 4.
It was pretty cool. It was awesome.
The school has some games provided by the American Printing House for the Blind, but oftentimes they take on the responsibility of adapting popular games.
So there are a lot of games that teachers have to hand braille to make it accessible.
The students are hoping to see Mattel and other companies continue to create Braille games.
I'd want to see war in Braille.
Anything else?
Poker.
The teachers say this is more than a deck of cards. This can be a springboard to more accessibility and mindfulness from those in the sighted world.
We might be limited in vision-wise, but we would like to be included. We would like to be productive members of society, and we would like to participate fully.
And being able to just participate is half the fun.
Winning is cool, but it doesn't really matter who wins because, you know, it's a fun game.
Decks are available nationwide at Target for just $10, but they've been selling out.
Less common than you might think. And imagine never having the chance to play this popular card game.
Exactly, and at the school, they take the time to hand braille certain games so kids can access those.